Fort Myers, Florida. When Twins pitcher Jake Odorizzi first met the man who would one day become his manager, he didn't know much about him aside from the most basic biographical details, his name and the fact that he had played baseball. Rocco Baldelli was part of the Tampa Bay Rays front office at the time, and it wasn't until Baldelli joined the team's staff before the 2015 season that the two really got to know each other. Baldelli was down to earth and his baseball mind was off the charts, Odorizzi said, and the two formed a bond. As Baldelli, now 37, started to handle more duties, a future career came into sharper focus. I kind of thought to myself, by going back and forth between all the jobs, that probably makes for a good lead into being a manager, Odorizzi said. He definitely had managerial qualities, the way he was prepared and went about doing first base coach, outfield coach, base running. He was very prepared and very on time with everything. Odorizzi was the player most familiar with Baldelli when the Twins introduced him as their 14th manager in team history in late October. But over the course of the spring, Baldelli has had a chance to build relationships with the rest of his team, and the Twins seem to be buying into the environment their new manager is creating. He's a great person first of all and a great manager so far, starting pitcher Jose Berrios said. He listens to us, and that doesn't mean we are always going to agree, but we end up usually being on the same page, so it is good communication both ways. Baldelli started the offseason by reached out to all of his players by phone. He traveled to Atlanta to meet with Byron Buxton and to the Dominican Republic to see Miguel Sano, two cornerstones of the franchise. He listened while they talked, and both players came away with positive impressions. In January, he spent part of a week on the Twins caravan driving around the state with Berrios and Eddie Rosario, and he met many more players at Twins Fest. One player he didn't meet for the first team, first baseman C.J. Cron, who was added after Baldelli was hired, also expressed similar sentiments to Odorizzi. Cron spent a year with Baldelli in Tampa and could also see the managerial qualities. You could definitely tell that he had what it takes to manage. He looks at the analytic stuff, and he's played before, so he can take those numbers and apply them, Cron said at Twins Fest. He's one of those guys that seems like he can use a good balance of both. He knows what helps and what doesn't. Loose environment. Seated at a press conference table at the 2018 winter meetings in Las Vegas in December, Baldelli was asked what a Baldelli-man team would look like on the field. He described the loose environment, expressing hope that his team would look like it was having fun. Players would be relaxed and comfortable. When you're comfortable, you play your best, he said in December. If you're tense and you're locked up, I've not seen many people play well in that kind of environment. And I think we're going to get our best when these guys are freed up in every possible way, on the field, off the field. And that's been evident in spring training. The first few days, players walked around wearing whatever kind of Twins apparel suited their fancy, from t-shirts to hoodies. Whatever they were most comfortable with, Baldelli said, was okay with him. Over the off-season, Baldelli, bench coach Derek Shelton and the staff spent time restructuring spring training. Come spring, players showed up later to the park. Time spent standing around the field was eliminated. Instead, it was get on the field, do your work hard and get off. Rest and recovery, the new manager preaches. Right fielder Max Kepler remarked recently that he doesn't feel as tired now as he did during past camps. Odorizzi appreciated how his new manager was cognizant of how hard spring training is on a player and was trying to be less demanding. I think Rocco's maintained a level of stability down there, but also gone back and forth with players, gotten feedback from them, made adjustments along the way, Chief Baseball Officer Derek Felvey said. On our level, at 37, Baldelli is the youngest manager in the majors. He is younger than his oldest player, 38-year-old pitcher Nelson Cruz, and it wasn't that long ago that Baldelli was a player himself. A highly touted one at that. Baldelli was picked 6th overall in the 2000 draft by the Rays and rocketed up prospect lists as scouts praised his raw ability. He debuted in 2003 at 21, hitting .289 his first year. He stole 27 bases, hit 11 home runs and drove in 78 runs in 156 games, finishing third in AL Rookie of the Year voting. But Baldelli only played in more than 100 games in his first two of his 7 seasons in the big leagues, as injuries derailed a promising playing career. After the 2010 season, Baldelli retired, his career cut short by mitochondrial channelopathy, a rare cell disorder that causes muscle fatigue, and he eventually segued to a front office role. When Kevin Cash was hired in Tampa as manager, he tabbed Baldelli as his first base coach. Last season, Baldelli was promoted to serve as the team's Major League field coordinator. He was a popular managerial choice this offseason, interviewing with multiple teams that had openings despite having no managerial experience himself. New addition Marvin Gonzalez, who joined the Twins in February, said he loved Baldelli, and thought everybody else did too, praising the manager's laid-back demeanor. "He lets us be ourselves," Gonzalez said. "One thing he wants is for us to give 100% and play hard every game." While in Tampa, Odorizzi appreciated a coach he could build a relationship with away from baseball. The two played in a fantasy football league for years together. Baldelli, Odorizzi said, is a shark at fantasy football. When you can really connect with somebody, it's when you're talking about stuff other than baseball and really getting to know the person as opposed to a coworker or teammate, whatever it is. Odorizzi said, "It kind of gave us something to bond over back in the day." When Baldelli was introduced in Minnesota last fall, the Twins touted his ability to develop relationships with those around him and his willingness to both talk and listen. And his players have seen that firsthand. "Just talking to him, he seems like on our level, like he's one of us players on the field. And I haven't really experienced that many times in my career with coaches that are so down-to-earth," Kepler said. "The coaches, mostly, they carry the authority of being a coach, which is understandable. But if you have a guy that can manage the team and also be on the level like a teammate, it's a different type of relationship."